I was talking about the what ifs. Um, what if the reality you have or you believe is a lie? What if, in the grander scheme of things, there's just so much more happening in the world than you know? Um, what if, as soon as you're born, um, not even as soon as you're born, actually, as you're in the womb, from the meds that are given to parents to the vaccinations, the food that is allowed to be given to parents, what if there are chemicals in those that are supposed to keep you from being, what's the word? Let's say they're supposed to keep you in line, basically. What if the chemicals that are given to you are supposed to keep you as an upstanding citizen? What if um, the water you drink, the food you eat, isn't really that good for you? Which is why you'd find people going back and forth to clinics, hospitals, doctors, to get medication that isn't really supposed to help you. It's just supposed to subside whatever's going on, just so you can come back later. Because obviously, if you knew the truth about the plants that are in your yard or on the side of the street, that they could help you with whatever you're struggling with, the medical industry would collapse. Medical industry would collapse. What if everything that's taught to doctors is a lie? What if they're taught, we're not going to talk about surgeons. Surgeons are fine, I think. But I mean, doctors in general. What if they spend 7 years learning a trade? Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Hello. How does it start again? Hello, I'm Manaka and welcome to my channel, Manaka. So, I wanted to talk about finding space in our hearts for. Hold up, I need to sneeze. Ooh. Yes, that's just pugging. I wanted to talk about. Okay. I wanted to talk about finding space in our hearts for the people we love. I made a video the last time where I was obviously in a space where I needed to kind of figure out where I wanted people to be in my life, because I'm the kind of person, if I think of you, I will text you. That's just me. Like literally, if I care about you, if I think already, wow, child, wow, I'm recording. Rude much? You kill? Anyway, that's what I'm saying. I'm the kind of person who literally, if I miss you, I will tell you, you know? If I care about you, I will show you. I'm the kind of person, like, the kind of love that I want, I usually show it to other people. And I try to get to know people as much as possible so that I know what it is that they want from me. Like, what is your love language? Because if your love language is obviously important to you, I should obviously do it. My love language is obviously checking in, which I've said a lot. It's opening up. It's about finding space in your heart to trust me. Trust me enough to want to talk to me. I feel like if you, especially in these times that we're in right now, like I feel like everybody's going through something. And because everybody's going through something, there is no way that you won't find somebody who either won't relate to you or who won't be able to have a shoulder for you to cry on. I also understand the place that some people try to come from, where they try to, what's the word? Where they try to be it's not kindness, it's more like, I'm going to do something for you without actually asking if it's for you. Like, for example, throughout my spiritual journey, what I've learned is that there are times when, obviously, if you want to talk to somebody about something, if you want to vent, right, it's always good to ask the person if they have the space for that, because they might be going through something that will be that they might be going through something themselves that's a bit heavy at that point when you're trying to talk to them, and whatever you say to them will, that cloud, because obviously when English obviously when you speak to somebody, right, when you express yourself, your energy is given to somebody else, and it is always dependent on what kind of space in their mind and in their heart that they are in, to be able to actually stop that energy to be able to stop that energy from becoming a part of them. That's one of the reasons why throughout spirituality, even in my self-care journal, I say that you need a ritual for the morning, you need a ritual for the night. The morning usually has to do with any energy that you might have picked up in the astral realm when you were sleeping, and at night has to do with any energy that you might have picked up in the day unconsciously or even consciously. Sometimes we allow ourselves to really hold on to energy a little too much. So because energy is in everything and everything we do, it's always good to ask somebody if they are in the right mind space and heart space to have a conversation that's deep, right? And if they are not, to be able to understand from our own perspective that, okay, cool, maybe I'll be able to talk to them later. But opening up like that allows the person to understand that, okay, cool, they are also going through something. When I'm in a better space, then I can tell them, cool, I'm ready to talk to you. And usually it doesn't take that long. Usually it's just about the other person just putting aside what they're going through and really just listening. So I think something that a lot of people tend to forget is that humans are loving creatures. Humans need touch. Humans need interaction. We cannot live alone. We cannot thrive alone. And we have this thing that when we get into a sad space, a depressive space and state of mind, we tend to want to do it all alone, right? And what I've learned is it is good to start off alone, to really figure out what it is that you're thinking and why you're thinking it and all of that, journaling it out. Obviously, it has to come out from your body field, or your body's energy somehow. You have to cry it out. You need to journal, write it out. You can sing about it, just anything that's expressive, that can take out whatever it is that's an emotion that's in your body, that's being held on to. And then once you've let it out by yourself, obviously, you have to let it out. You can't keep thinking about it. The thing about thoughts is that's an energy that stays within your body. And that energy, because everything is energy, that energy, which is your thoughts, if it is bad thoughts, it becomes physical sickness. And I don't think a lot of people understand that the mind, the body, and the spirit are so interconnected that if any one of them is unhealthy, it's always linked to one or the other. So if you are thinking bad thoughts, if you're having a hard time, if you are unable to speak to anyone in that moment, choose an outlet that will help you. Meditate, do yoga, do some sport, exercise, sing, dance, sex, write, read. Something that will actually release that energy from you. Sit in nature, do something that you wouldn't usually do. Don't sit inside, especially as melanin people. It's always good to go into the sun. When I was pregnant, I used to hate going outside. Like, for me, I was very much in hermit mode. I was very enclosed. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with anyone or anything. Going outside for me was the pits. But when I did do it, I felt better. When I did interact with other people, I felt better. But it takes work. It takes courage. It takes energy to do those kind of things, because you actually sometimes have to force yourself to do it. So that's how I learned that the sun, especially for us melanin people, is really good for us. Okay, cool. The science or whatever, I don't think it's even science, but they tell us that if we stay in the sun too long, that it's bad for us, but we need vitamin D, so where must we get our pills? Anyway, so if you're feeling down, I've noticed that even when it's cloudy outside, it's drowsy, literally my energy is low. I don't want to do nothing. But when it's sunny, most of the time I want to do everything. I want to go have a picnic. I want to work. I want to record a video. I want to do absolutely everything. And then I get tired, obviously, because I want to do everything at once. But it's always good to be in the sun. So if you are down, sit in the sun. If you're by the ocean, go and just cleanse in the water. Seawater is really good for cleansing your aura, by the way. If you're not by the ocean, like me, coarse salt water is really good. Soak yourself in a bath with coarse salt water. That cleans up your aura. It cleanses any energy that doesn't serve you. And it actually relaxes your muscles as well. So what was I saying? Where did I start? Ooh. So basically what I was saying is that we need to learn to have space in our hearts for other people. That's where I don't understand how people can be, trigger alert, depressed for more than 6 months. And I understand, I'm not saying that, because obviously being depressed is a state of mind, but I'm not saying that anybody must force themselves from not being depressed, right? Now, I'm not saying that being depressed is a thing where you must be able to snap out of it like this. No. What I'm saying is that there's the state of mind of depression where you need medical assistance. So go get medical assistance. Don't sit around and think that it's going to get fixed by itself. And there is the depressive state where it's spiritual, it's emotional. You can deal with it alone. I have dealt with depression myself. I wasn't medically diagnosed or anything like that, but I have dealt with depression. I believe it was depression because it was fucking bad. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts, but there was always something to stop me from those places. And I can truly say that right now I'm grateful that I went through my spiritual journey, because I can go through I can tell you right now, I've probably been in depressive states like once, like maybe it happened for like a week or 2 weeks, right? Where I was just really, really sad. But there's so many things that are good in my life that it's possible to do shadow work and to deal with every single one of the problems that are happening and not let it overtake my life. That's why I say I don't understand how people allow themselves to be depressed for more than 6 months. I can say that literally I might have been depressed 2 weeks every 3 months or 4 months, where there's a really dip. There's a dip in my emotions, there's a dip in everything that's happening around me, right? And that's happened since I was probably 14, 15, somewhere around there. And obviously when you're a teenager, when you're a young adult, you find it difficult to find ways to actually deal with it, right? But what I've realized is the best way to deal with it is to let it happen. If you are sad, allow yourself to be sad. Don't suppress your feelings. Cry it out. You know what? If you are angry, allow yourself to be angry. Not towards other people, obviously, but release that anger in some way. Because if you suppress it, it will blow the fuck up, And what I've realized is that there's so many outlets that actually help us. I stated in the other video about the elements, right? And how they connect to our charts. And how every single one of us has a different birth chart, because the sky and the constellations are always there, but they're always in different places for every single moment that every person is born, right? There's an Aries hour, there's a Taurus hour. Every single star sign, all the way until the 12th star sign, there is an hour for it in the day, and there is an hour and there is obviously the times or the phases when the sun is obviously in each sign, and that is what constitutes your personality, basically. So much information, but yeah, that's what constitutes your personality. So the biggest thing that I've realized is we just need to stop. I've had so many moments where I was just upset, right? But I've learned, especially even with my self-care journal, I've learned that we all need to find ways to ground ourselves. We need to find ways to connect with our higher selves, with our God self. Okay? Because we are gods. There's no other way to say it. We are gods. So the human form, the human body, the human mind always makes us think of low vibrational things. It always makes us sad. It always makes us depressed and sort of stuck in darkness. That's why a lot of the time you have to deal with the pain so that it sheds, right? Even loss, sometimes you have to deal with loss in order for it to shed. And what I realize is the more I actually allow myself to delve deep into pain, is the more it actually subsides faster. I am a very fucking emotional person. A lot of people don't see that side of me, but I'm a very fucking emotional person. But what I've also realized is that the more I start working with myself and getting to know myself and who I want to be for myself and for other people, is the more I know how to set boundaries. It's the more I know who is for me and who is not. As much as I love so many people, if you've been in my life and we were close at any point, I probably still love you. I don't think love dies. I think it just changes form. It's like a form of caring, but it just changes, you obviously want the best for that person, but maybe you don't want them in your life anymore. So what I've realized about myself is that I have a tendency to always want to check in with other people, because that's what I want for myself. I want people to want to check in with me, to want to see if I'm okay, you understand? And to really delve. Like, for me, it's like I can tell the difference between somebody who says, "How are you?" right? And somebody who says, "How are you really?" Like, because how are you is almost like a robotic sort of answer, a robotic sort of question. It's like saying good morning, something that we've been taught from childhood. And it's difficult because I don't even like the words good morning anymore, really. It doesn't sound high vibrational. It doesn't sound happy. Grand rising sounds amazing, but I'm not used to it, so I'm not going to say it a lot. Or splendid evening, Who says that? But yeah, I think we just need to find a space for ourselves. We need to find ourselves, understand ourselves, and really work with ourselves, right? And then once we figure out who we are, then we just work around that. And we also need to understand that sometimes we need to pull ourselves out of the darkness so we can meet other people halfway, because life is unfortunately not about living by ourselves. Your life would be boring as fuck and is that a word? Unfulfilling. Probably is. But it wouldn't be fulfilling at all if you lived your life by yourself and just didn't do anything because either you were scared of getting hurt or you chose not to trust anyone because hurt. But yeah, what I've realized is that we need to work with our trauma. We need to work with our shadow self. We need to work with a lot of things that have to do with us. We need to understand our shadow selves enough to know why we act the way we do in certain situations. We need to understand our triggers. We need to understand if we are actually being ourselves or if our personality is just a bunch of other people's personalities. Because I know in high school, my personality was a bunch of people's personalities. A lot, and it had a lot to do with the fact that I was scared to be rejected. I was scared to be myself because I was scared to be rejected, basically. But then I realized that I was going to be rejected anyway, because that's exactly what the fuck was happening. And then I was like, I'm going to be myself. So fuck y'all anyway. But yeah. And it's still a process, because it's difficult getting to the age of 30, turning 31 in July. It's difficult living that many years pretending to be something that you're not, right? And then finally you try to be something that you are, who you are, and you have to figure out who you are. And now you have to spend as many years as you had before being who you are. But it's an everyday thing, every moment thing, every scenario thing. It's just about learning. It really is. But I don't even know what this video was about. But the main takeaway is, if there are people in your life that you love, reach out to them, especially if you think about them. Even if it's just to say, hi, how are you? I was thinking about you. The conversation doesn't have to be long. It's 2 seconds. 3 seconds. I don't know how long that takes. But that simple gesture shows the person that you care about them, and that shows the person that they like. That's what I try to do. I try to be the exemplar. It's not a word. But I try to be the person to show that side so that other people can show it to me too. But then if it's not shown, then you stop. But something you need to realize is that you have to do it continuously. You have to at least even explain that this is something that you've been doing, and explain that people mustn't be shocked when you're gone. But yeah, I think everybody has the right to make decisions the way they want to. I think everybody has the right to do things the way they want to. But in my opinion, I think we should all have a space for other people in our lives. As much as we should be the most important thing in our own lives, we should always have a space for the people we love we should always have a space for the people we love, basically. Because once we've dealt with ourselves, say we need the day to cry, to be angry, to be sad, right? Who's going to be there for us afterwards? Who are we going to be able to talk to? Who are we going to be able to share that energy with? You can share it with nature, but nature doesn't talk back. The whole point of being a human is to interact. So yeah, I think that I said what I needed to say. So yeah, I hope you take the time to show gratitude for the things you have every morning, every night. And I hope you take the time to appreciate yourself and love yourself. And once you know how to love yourself fully, it doesn't even have to be fully, but love yourself enough. That's when the people who love you too will start showing themselves. Anyway, that was a deep video. That's about it. That's all I needed to say today. I just wanted to remind you to take care of yourself in this fucking whatever the fuck is still happening in the world. Remember, every single part of you every single body is you, and it is connected. Spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, energetic. It is all together. And you need to take care of every single one of them. So yeah, drink water, stay safe, be happy. Oh, and stop suppressing shit, for fuck's sake, man. Oh my god. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this video makes sense because, well, I was just talking, but that usually is what happens, and it usually sounds fucking amazing because I'm fucking amazing. I'm not joking about being fucking amazing, but okay, I'm going on a tangent and I'm being weirder. Okay. Love you. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, it's just the weirder I get.